What's up guys? In today's video we're going to be reviewing the Lectric XPedition cargo bike.
We're going up to 20% going to 2 people. What kind of torque we working with?
The version I have here is the dual battery version, which costs about $1,700, but you can save yourself about $300 by getting the single battery version. Regardless of which battery option you choose, it will come with a 1300 watt peak output motor, 750 nominal. And one thing interesting about this bike is it has a PWR pedal assist system, which we'll check that out a little bit closer in a bit. But first, let's unbox this bike, take a closer look at everything. Then we'll take this thing out for a test ride and see how useful it is as a cargo bike.
Oh, we got it.
Morning. Typically these bikes are stapled up with like 3 staples. This one has like 2 every like 2 inches. The stapler man did his job. Dang, it's a lot of cardboard. Dude, you guys have no idea how excited I am that this front wheel comes installed. Just makes the build process that much easier. Okay, that might make up for the staples. Check out this kickstand. This bike has street-friendly tread pattern on Lectric branded 20 by 3 inch tires, no suspension on the front fork, metal fenders, hydraulic brakes on 180 millimeter rotors, Lectric, 4 sets of keys, branded Lectric. That tells you this is a big company. And blue zip ties, which matches the company's flagship color. The handlebars come in like a folding e-bike style. More warnings. Heck yeah, we don't gotta install handlebars either. Dude, this bike is like 0 assembly. One of the first signs of this being a cargo bike is the 3 mounting points here. You also get this mounting point up here on front, which is pretty typical. Headlight, some ribbon, and a pretty serious warning label back here. Do not exceed the maximum payload on the rear rack. I can tell you I've definitely done this before and it makes the handling super sketchy. I recognize that I agree. So this rack isn't a rack, it's actually the frame. It's welded on there. So this thing, this is sturdy. And look at these things. You might not even be able to see them. Neat. I mean, since you are loading up cargo, it'll help keep stuff from getting in the spokes accidentally. It's got a light on the rear. This must be for the floorboards, and we get the same hydraulic brakes on the back. In case you care, here is the motor connection, which runs down here to the externally mounted controller, which is listed as a 24 amp controller. Also IP65 rated and potted for weatherproofing and heat management. 90 reviews, 5 stars. So they say 1300 watts of peak output, and that 750 watt nominal motor, they say it can do 85 newton meters of torque. It is a Lectric branded motor. Lectric branded everything. So each of the batteries are rated for 662 watt hours of energy. They're 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery packs. So obviously you could like pretty much double your range by getting 2. Obviously that's gonna double your weight. So each one weighs about 7 pounds, 7 pounds, 3 ounces. So I mean, if you're not going far, you could just run it on 1. You could always get 2, you know, in case you got some serious riding to do. I wonder how charged it is when they send it. Pretty low. It's ambiguous though, let's see. Little lesson in batteries 101. I'm gonna guess this readout is gonna be 46 volts. Ooh, look at that, 46.5. Promise I didn't cheat. 48 volts is basically half charge. Wonder what kind of charger we get. Pizza, pizza. Well, here's the seat, fairly wide. What do you know, another Lectric branded component. Feels pretty nice. Got a warning label. Long seat post. Interesting how this comes shipped. It's got a quick release lever, and check it out. Like, it has 2 attachments. Like usually there's just, you know, a quick release here, and then you drop this in, and yeah, that'd be your 1 release. This one has 2. So you like put it like here, and then like this one extends too. I don't think this is how you're supposed to do that, but don't follow my example here. So that must just be some sort of adapter basically, because this tubing is probably too thick for like a normal seat post. Anyway, charger. Oh, pedals. What do you know? Lectric branded pedals as well. They're metal pedals, and they have like some steel cleats too, or metal cleats I should say. Kind of on the narrow spectrum. Little interesting shape to them. It'll be interesting to see how they feel. Looks like they'll definitely bite in to the shoes. Oh, whoa, check that out. They attach differently than a normal pedal too. Got your Allen key there on the inside. Keep getting distracted. Charger time. What is this thing? Looks big. It's not. It's a 2 amp charger. So a 2 amp charger would take about 7 hours to charge a 14 amp hour battery pack from empty to full. And that charger can only charge 1 battery at a time. So I'd you know, I'd recommend you grab a second charge if you have a second battery. I wonder what's in this box. Oh yes, this is exactly what we need. Please be more than 2 amps. No, it's not. Another 2 amp charger. In case you're wondering, here's what 28 amp hours looks like compared to 60 amp hours. I'm really curious about these pedals. I have not seen this before. Clearly don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, I think it went on. That is awesome. Oh, so yeah, you can just like clip these pedals right in like that. How about that? Pretty neat. It does have like a little bit of a wiggle to it. I don't know if that's right or not. So I mean, if you need to save a little space, width-wise, just pop them off. That's pretty awesome. Let's flip this thing around. So check this chain out. Really interesting. Something blocking us over here. We need to shift gears. We'll come back and take a look at that in a moment. It's actually super useful because, like, I mean, obviously, look how low the chain would be if that wasn't there. So, I mean, that's some decently clever engineering. Over on this side, you get those same clear plastic things protecting you from getting stuff in the spokes back there. And you get 7 gears with a tourney derailleur. And before we get up to the handlebars, I want to show you the mounting points back here. So basically 2 right here, 2 more here, 2 more here, 2 more here. They all line up. These 8 line up. And then on the outside, you get these 4 and a like water bottle holder pair here in addition to the 3 here. And while we're duplicating content here, those ones up front. Hopefully I didn't miss any. Let me rip these handlebars apart real quick. And dude, I just realized I have not used 1 Allen key or 1 wrench. Haven't even touched my drill on this install. This thing's built for you. This is like the first bike I haven't had to do like anything. Check out this thing. Wow. So look how this works. Like you move this latch, you pull this latch up, like I think it's latched in, but you just press this button and then you can open it and like you can adjust everything. It all like locks into place wherever you set it after you decide where you want your handlebars. This is like the coolest like handlebar adjustment thing I've personally ever seen. Or I guess I should say like the most unique. So let's go ahead and just try them like, I don't know, like this. Push it down and it's locked in place. So what do we get up here? Ergonomic style hand grips. They're like rubber. Get your controls here. Plus minus pedal assist, power button. Zoom hydraulic brake levers. I like the Zoom hydraulic brakes. You get your Shimano 7-speed shifter. Twist throttle on the right, which is good for those of you who like to use signals when you're riding. Left hand is your signal hand. Display. I'd say let's turn it on, but the batteries are over there. So let's put one of these on for now. Power this thing up. Basic display. All right, so what's it giving us here? I have 1 battery in there. It's showing, so pedal assist goes from 0 to 5 as typical. Let's tab on through these. So you have trip. Voltage of the battery, which we just measured over there, 46.2. Current, so it shows you the output of the motor, how many amps, time, and odometer. So I always like to see voltage and current amps. So you can calculate, you know, wattage of the motor is just current times whatever the voltage of the battery is. Some nerdy stuff, basically. Very basic looking display, but useful. If you don't know anything about e-bikes, these little energy bar readouts are kind of not always that reliable or accurate, I guess you could say. Sometimes you don't know what's going on there. If you understand how a 48 volt battery works, 48 volts is like half charge, 54 is max. Just gives you a little more detail. So I'm curious what happens here if we throw the second one on while it's on. The batteries are a little bit tricky to get on for your first time anyway. It's easy once you figure it out. So throwing that on there did not change anything up here. Let's turn it off and back on. Shouldn't really change anything. Yeah, same old. So they're probably both like roughly charged like the same-ish out of the box. Or you know what? One of those might just be a backup battery. It might not run off of both. It might just run off of one. I see a wire coming out of there. No, that's not true. There's the wire coming out of both. So I wonder if that runs off of both batteries at the same time or just one. We'll find out. Try out pedal assist 5. Battery's pretty low, but let's give it a try anyway. So out of the box on a pretty low charge, it'll bring me up to 22 under throttle only without a load. Let's try this thing out a bit. Check this thing out. As you shift gears, the whole thing moves over. I've got to say, man, this bike's a lot more interesting than I was expecting it to be. Can we say it has quirks and features? Oh, my name is not Doug. Here's a 6'5" dude on this bike. Need to get some air in those tires. I mean, saddle height seems to be very adjustable. So here's what it looks like with the minimum seat height for a 6'5" dude. Inseam 34. Reach is like pretty close. Cockpit's pretty close to, you know, all close. I think the short person would have no problem getting on and off this bike. Go ahead and throw this thing up on max seat height. Oh, you gotta really get on up here. So I do get pretty much proper leg extension at 6'5". Handlebars are a bit down there, although this stuff is all adjustable. Here's what it looks like. And of course, technically this would be the true max height saddle of this bike. Let's see if I can break something today. Oh yeah. Can't quite reach the pedals, guys. Oh man, now I know what it feels like to be short. Oh jeez. So it says to run these tires anywhere from 25 to 45 PSI. I'm gonna run them on the lower end down at 28 because there is no front suspension. So keep them a little more plush. It'll take away from our MPG a little bit, but it'll give us more comfort. So to get to this point, this is like the only tool we needed. So I mean, if you're looking for a cargo bike that can just show up to your front door and you don't have to mess with building anything, this is certainly an option. But I think we will need some tools for this. The cushions. Lectric branded. Actually, maybe we won't need tools. Nice. It's just got these little, nice. Dude, this is a beautiful system. Some of these cargo bikes are a real pain working with all these bolts and stuff back here. Is that light a brake light? Oh, I guess not. So that's a light. It's a light, but it's not a brake light though. Speaking of light, what are we working with up here? It's nothing to write home about. Headlight is, oh, there you have it. All right, dudes, we're gonna take the Lectric XPedition out for a ride. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the cargo attachments. They're all sold out for like 2 months. It actually goes to a different bike. Doesn't fit on there. We'll do some performance tests on it and see how it rides. Batteries are at basically 54 volts. Let's roll. We're gonna have to crank up this power. So we'll go ahead and start the Strava so we can track our official distance. I don't know if this thing runs on 2 batteries at once or not, but we'll find out.
It's got 0 miles on it. We can't ruin it.
Or can we? You gotta back it out, you noob. You can't turn this thing around in an elevator.
Ruin this thing.
Hey, you can't be cussing on YouTube. No, you can be the driver.
What the? There's a back seat?
Yeah, there's a back seat, dude. There's there should be some floorboards here, but they haven't come yet. Can you drive this thing with me on it? There we go. Does it feel stable? Can you like drive around the?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna end up jumping off the back probably.
We're going up to 20% grade too, people. What kind of torque we working with?
Not enough.
Here, keep going.
Oh, I got plenty.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
Don't let it gain too much speed though.
I wish there was some floorboards on this thing right now. They'll be coming in the mail soon enough.
20% grade.
You might need to pedal a little bit.
Oh, we got it.
That was amazing. Pretty torquey motor, really.
So let's go ahead and run it up the 20% grade. It's got the, cargo style kickstand, and it's a 24 amp controller. I weigh 200 pounds. Let's go throttle only, full throttle. They say 85 Newton meters of torque and about 1300 watts of peak output. It's climbing to the 20% grade under its own power, throttle only. So it is a relatively torquey motor, and the 24 amp controller, let's see what it's showing here. Yeah, 24 amps of current, that's under throttle only. So it doesn't show your wattage output, but it does show the current of the motor. And it's a class 2 e-bike out of the box. We'll get in there and modify that here in a few. Class 2 e-bike means basically under throttle only, it'll take you up to 20 miles an hour and then cut you off. Oh, that looks fun. And the hydraulic brakes, they feel good out of the box. These are the Zoom hydraulic 180 millimeter Tektro brakes, which are perfectly adequate for a bike of, cargo style bike that you can carry some weight. The levers feel nice to my fingers. I like these ones because they kind of hook in a little bit. I like them a little more than the normal hydraulic brake levers. So this is a cadence sensor on this bike. I forget the exact terminology they use for it. 7 gears on the Shimano shifter. Gears are a little bit misaligned out of the box. Not a big deal. I just need to rotate the barrel adjuster. We're on gear 1 now. Cadence sensor here will take you up to right around 8 miles an hour under the default settings before we modify the top speed or anything. Pedal assist 1, pedal assist 2. Get a nice gentle little boost in power here. Already shifting up to gear 4. 10 amps of current still. 14 miles an hour now, cruising on gear number 7. And we are running the dual batteries on this bike. So that is 28 amp hours, 48 volt batteries. Pretty massive range on this bike, or should be massive range, massive energy capacity. It really depends on how much you load up on that rear rack. But as you know, you don't have to get both batteries. You can save yourself about 300 bucks if you just want to get the single battery on this bike. It'll save you a little bit of weight too. So yeah, cruising on pedal assist 2 feels nice, just cruising along at 14 miles an hour. Hit it up to pedal assist 3, you get about 14 amps of current here on the cadence sensor. So I'm already, you know, kind of ghost pedaling, going 19 miles an hour now. All I have to do is just kind of turn my legs a little bit. Let's go into this turn here. The shorter wheels on this bike, 20-inch wheels, feel nice rolling into that turn. And the lag on the cadence sensor is pretty much non-existent. So as soon as I start pedaling here, not pedaling, pedaling, power. Not pedaling, pedaling, power. Quick responding cadence sensor. Sometimes they'll have kind of a lag to them. This one is good. So starting from a stop in top gear, pedal assist 3. Yeah, it kicks in pretty quickly. And also, it kind of eases on the power there from a stop. Now, there is some kind of technology built into their cadence sensor. I forget exactly what it was called. Let's try that again, actually. Come to a stop. Oh, there's another cargo stylish bike. Starting from a stop here, let's just put it on pedal assist 5, see what happens. So, pedaling, I'm on gear like 7. Oh, I'm on the wrong gear, man. So, yeah, it gives us only like 2 or 3, 6 amps of current. So, it ramps on fairly nicely in the beginning, so you don't get like a jolt where it can kind of throw you off the back of the bike sometimes. On some of the really cheap cadence sensor style bikes, they won't be fine-tuned like that from a stop. They'll give you all the power right away. Now once you're rolling though, I did feel that one jerk me a little bit there. So going at about 13 on pedal assist 5, I'm going to start pedaling now. Oh yeah, you feel all that power kick in immediately once you're rolling, but it does ease on from a stop. So I mean, that's nice that it eases on from a stop. Now this bike has absolutely no suspension on it whatsoever, so that's gonna be nice for keeping the bike a little bit more lightweight. And it does have, you know, like a middle of the road, oh yeah, middle of the road. But if you're gonna be doing like off-roading, which you probably won't be doing on a cargo style bike, just know there's no suspension on this bike whatsoever. But as I was saying, the tires on this bike are somewhat thick, so they will eat some of the bumps in the road. Now it's not like true suspension, but you know, it's nice. Better than some skinny tires in my opinion. Oh, look at this doggy on this bike. That's a cargo style bike. Now I really should have modified the top speed here to be riding on the road, because it will top out at 20. I'm holding the throttle down and it's giving me a little bit of current, but yeah, 20. Good news is we got 2 batteries on this thing, so we should have some big range. Dang, that car got close to me, man. We should have some big range on this bike cruising at these speeds. Man, I really need more speed out here, dude. I wish I had a little suspension right here. So I mean, you know, it feels like a pretty standard feeling 750 watts by the book class 2 electric bike. And I can read the screen through my polarized lenses. You know, it's nothing fancy. There's no like color on there. You don't get like a percentage readout or anything for the battery, but it does show you the battery voltage, which I always like to see. Regardless of it not being like color or fancy or anything, you can read it very clearly whether or not you have sunglasses on a bright day too. Coming from being used to riding with front suspension on bikes, you can really notice the difference. If I was using this bike for what it's supposed to be used for, we'd make a stop at the grocery here or something. We're going to the beach though. So in addition to the pedal assist, the 5 levels of pedal assist, that also works for the throttle. So pedal assist 1, it really doesn't give you much power at all, which is actually a nice thing because it gives you better control over how much power you give it, you know, under twist throttle only. So in order to get all that power, you got to crank it up all the way to 5. But if you're just cruising slow and you want to have, you know, less power, less twitchy throttle, just put it on like 2. This bike is like a step-through style frame, so it is like pretty easy to get on and off. And now we're gonna do the 0 to 20 acceleration test here. I weigh 200 pounds, full throttle, ready, go. Instant response from the throttle actually ramps up very quickly. 10, 15, 18, 19, and it tapers you 20. Pretty much 20. So it's actually a pretty quick moving bike, really. What's 24 amps times 48 volts? Actually, you know, it's like a full battery, 54 volts times 24 amps. So let's go ahead and log in here, see if we can change the top speed on this thing. Hold down plus minus, and you go over to 8, I believe. Yeah, set at 32 kilometers an hour, which is 20 miles an hour. All right, here, 32. So it looks like it just toggles between either 32 or 100 kilometers an hour. So what, 60 miles an hour? We'll see if it can actually do it. Okay, so now with everything unlocked to 100 kilometers an hour, let's do throttle only, see what it does here. Ready, go. 10, 15, 20 still. So, oh, you have to use pedaling. So pedaling, then you can go faster. So it makes it into a class 3 e-bike essentially. And now, oh yeah, we can pick up some a lot more speed, and that lack of suspension going 27 miles an hour does not feel excellent. Now, one thing you could do on this bike is swap out the seat post for a suspension seat post. That could help you with a little bit of, you know, cushioning. Hey, you know, another thing, if you're tall like me, you could just kind of drop on back here and sit on the rear seat. I'm like chilling, literally sitting on the passenger seat right now. Is this safe? That's kind of fun, dude. I might have to do that some more. Probably wouldn't be jumping this thing. Now that I have the top speed unlocked, let's see what it can do here. Going into headwind, top gear, let's put it on pedal assist 5. See what the pedaling is like beyond 20. So 25, I still feel like I'm fine. 26, yeah, it actually seems like it's geared fine for, you know, a class 3 e-bike. Like I'm not ghost pedaling anymore in top gear. We should be on to the beach here in just a few. Hey, that's kind of like a cargo bike in a way. No motor though. So even after you unlock it, you're limited to 20 miles an hour under throttle only. You have to put in a little bit of pedaling. You don't even have to actually like pedal. Just, you know, just turn your legs over to kick that cadence sensor on, and then it'll take you up a little bit beyond. You know, the tailwind is kind of holding us back a bit. Let's whip it around here. I mean, the headwind was holding us back a little bit. Let's whip it around, and I'm just curious what it can actually do for a top speed. Not that people are, you know, really looking to do that on this bike necessarily, but it'll give you an indication of what kind of power this bike has for, you know, pulling weight. So it's showing 29, 30. I really need to pull out my GPS. Yeah, about right around 30.2. Got the GPS out. Let's see how accurate that speedometer is. So showing 29. Yeah, it's an accurate speedometer. Yeah, so I mean, I'd say it feels, you know, 1300 watts roughly. One thing that's a little bit annoying on this bike is the hand grips are not bolted in place. So I've noticed they are kind of rotating down on me a little bit. I mean, you can use some like hairspray or glue or something if you really want to get them stuck in place. I don't know if you can look and see, but this one here, my throttle hand, is the one that keeps rotating down on me. So in the unboxing section, I mentioned, you know, the pedals, they pop on and off. I actually kind of like that because folding pedals that they'll put on bikes sometimes, they feel really goofy to pedal. These ones feel like, you know, just like normal pedals, but I did notice, you know, when I put this thing in my storage unit, it made it way easier. It actually saved a lot of space because I don't think, you might not realize like how far pedals actually stick out on a bike, but it actually helped me load up into the storage unit substantially easier. And this entire stem up here folds down like a folding bike. You know, it's not a folding bike, but it's just interesting that it has like folding bike features to kind of compact it down a little bit. I will say you do want to make sure those pedals are actually locked on there before you start riding off. One of them, I didn't have it completely locked on there, and it fell off on me on an intersection before I started filming. Look at this thing. Whoa, that dude's ready to take some people out, man. Shouldn't be a problem though, just something to be mindful of. Man, I really wish that they sent me some accessories with this bike, but unfortunately, from the time I started filming this bike, they wouldn't even be here for like 60 days. So I really had to just make a decision. What do I do? Hold on to this bike for 60 days before I, you know, maybe they show up and I start this review, or just kind of, you know, show you the performance, and you can imagine, you know, what it would be like with those accessories on there. So if you want to check the current availability on that sort of stuff, the link below this video will link you on over to the official website, show you all the prices and ship times for whatever accessories and the actual bike itself. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Lectric actually did a collaboration with Mr. Beast. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Only the biggest YouTuber on all of YouTube. So I thought that was pretty cool. They're giving away like 1,000 of, I think it's this exact model, these Lectric XPedition, one of their electric e-bikes though. Fun little fact for you. But just riding this thing around, I can tell that it would be, it'd be good for towing some stuff around. It's got good torque. I mean, just flipping on that throttle a bit. And the way it climbed the 20% grade, I mean, I can tell it's got enough power. And the geared hub motor is always do a little better for producing torque and, you know, hauling stuff around compared to a gearless direct drive hub motor. Now the geared hub motors, they do make a little bit more noise, which I have noticed this one does, you know, it makes that typical like hub motor whine noise. Check it out, dude, it's got some cargo.
How about that? So showing full bars, 52.3 volts and 6.5 miles into this ride, 30 minutes of ride time. So one thing about these pedals, they do grip your feet really well, I've noticed, because they have those sharp metal grips, but you probably do want to be careful not to scratch yourself or cut yourself with them, because they are a little bit more grippy and you know, sharp than a normal plastic pedal. They do have like a higher quality feel to them, but could, you know, be a little bit, you know, I don't know, I want to say dangerous, but you know, they're a little bit sharper than a normal plastic pedal. Holy smokes, dude. Dude is flying. So I want to say these are 3-inch wide tires, if I can remember correctly. They're definitely like a nice road riding tire. They're probably a little more efficient than a fat 4-inch wide tire, but they might not be able to take you quite as many places as a 4-inch wide fat tire. So let's see what I can do out here. Oh yeah, I definitely feel all those bumps out here. So we're gonna bump it down. There's a couple gears here. That should be about 1, I think. Pedal says 5, so 3-inch wide tire, I'd say, is gonna be pretty unlikely to be able to get us through width-wise, but maybe the power. I mean, these tires are just, they're really not wide enough, man. They just kind of, so if you're looking for something that can take you off in the sand, you probably want a fat tire e-bike. Take the walk of shame back. Actually, this throttle has like plenty enough get up and go. Their tires are just like not wide enough. Torquey motor, I would say just the tires are the limiting factor, not the actual torque of the motor. Try it on some other hills up here. Welcome to California in the summer. Let's go ahead and pop off here and try this hill to the right. So rolling up here on pedal assist 5, 8 miles an hour, full throttle now, 24 amps of current, pulling us up under throttle only, 9 miles an hour, holding, you know, picking up a little bit of speed, 9.3, 1300 watt motor, 750 watt continuous motor. Seems pretty sufficient for hauling some weight around. So you get your wattage, all you do is you take the voltage of the battery. So we're at 51 volts right now, and the controller was pulling 24 amps. So you'd multiply 51 basically times 24. That comes out to right around 1200 watts of peak output after, you know, you've used a little bit of your battery. So that peak power output is going to drop as the batteries drop voltage. So yeah, we're at about 1200 watts of peak power output right now. And as the battery goes down, we'll start to lose peak power output. But the good news is we have 2 batteries, so it'll hold that voltage a little bit higher than, you know, if there's only 1 battery. But if you want, you know, less weight, you can run just 1 battery. You'll just lose that peak power a little bit sooner in your ride. So I think it really just kind of depends, you know, what kind of cargo are you carrying and how far are you going? You don't have to bring both batteries if you buy both. And at this point in the ride, it'd be my assumption we're running on 2 batteries because I have not really noticed much of a drop off at all in power. But I'm actually not sure, so let's stop here and swap them around. So battery says 51 volts. I brought both keys, swap them around, see what happens. Come on now, get in there. Turn them on, turn this thing on, and what's the voltage showing now? 51.5, so yeah, it is running off both. It would be fully charged at 54 volts if it was only running on one of those batteries. So it runs on both at the same time, which is a good thing. So final thoughts on the Lectric XPedition. So this bike costs about $1,700 if you do the dual battery. You can save yourself $300 if you just do 1 battery. I like that the back rack has a max capacity for the back rack of 300 pounds, 450 pounds for the whole bike. And you know, it's a pretty big reputable company. Lectric is one of the bigger, more well-known e-bike manufacturers in the United States. It's got some pretty cool features. You know, you can pop these pedals off. It does make it a little bit easier to store it if you're in a small space. Just make sure you get them on there all the way so they don't fall off while you're riding. And handlebars can kind of collapse down too to make it a little more compact for storing. And the adjustable handlebar thing is kind of unique and kind of cool. Overall, you know, it's got good torque, good power, 1300 watts peak power output, 85 newton meters of torque. So if you're looking for a cargo style electric bike, this could be an option for you. If you do want to buy it, you can click the link below this video in the description box. If you did buy through that link, it would help support my reviews. But let's head on home and see what kind of final range we get out of this battery. One other kind of downside maybe is there is no suspension on this bike. So a lot of cargo style bikes, they will come with a front suspension, and it does make a decent difference. But by not having suspension, it does simplify the bike and keep it a little bit lighter. We'll go see how it performs climbing the California incline. It's an 85-foot vertical climb, 12% grade. Based on my experience so far, there will be no issue for this bike to climb this hill. Let's just see basically how fast it can do it. So I'm not even like full throttle because I would be going a little too fast here, but good torque. Plus the UE around here, and then full throttle now. Pedal assist 5, no pedaling. It's climbing. 12% grade just fine. Hitting 14, 15, 16, 17 oncoming traffic. It's holding about 17 climbing. So, you know, pretty good torque, pretty good power, pretty much what I would expect. I have seen other bikes hit, you know, a little bit faster going up this hill, but this is a solid performance. And we were just down there on the bike path. Beautiful evening out here in Santa Monica. Malibu off in the distance. Sun should be setting soon. How fast can this bike go? Let's give it a go. Oh wait, I forgot. I have to pedal past 20. Just like a ghost pedal though. I'm not actually even putting any effort in. I'm just turning the pedals over. Yeah, realistically a 48 volt system is gonna top out about 30. These Zoom hydraulic brakes, you know, I've tried these on other bikes. They feel good. They are hydraulic, so you'll have less maintenance on them. And they feel really smooth stopping. Hydraulic disc brakes, they just feel a lot nicer than mechanical disc brakes. We'll go try an actual test on them. Let's give it a brake test here from 20. Yeah, these brakes are really good. So let's actually run it back here and brake from a higher speed, you know, maybe like 25 or so. Oh man, I hit the sand there. Look at that tire mark, man. Ugh, ouch. Kick the pedal. Yeah, you gotta be a little careful with those sharp pedals too. So a lot of times your braking force is limited to the traction to the tire, and I hit a little bit of sand there, as you can see. So just be careful not to pull that front lever too hard. It's got a lot of stopping power. One minor gripe with this bike is I kind of wish the handlebars did like sweep back a little bit, come a little closer. But like I was showing you before, it is nice that you can do this, and that'll bring them closer too. Oh yeah. I like that, that's better. That's actually a pretty cool feature. And the other thing, the seat's not bad. It's really not bad. I wish it was a little bit wider. It'd be a little bit more comfortable. Other bikes that have a slightly wider seat, they're just a little better, more comfortable, and just the fact that this bike does not have any suspension at all, so a nicer seat would be appreciated. That's some pretty nitpicky stuff though, really. Oh, look at this doggy. So we're chilling at 50 volts. It's showing full bars and 12 miles into this ride so far. Let's rip it home a little bit, see what kind of range we end up doing here. This seat is kind of hard, man. I wish it was a wider seat. I'm gonna sit back here on the passenger seat for a little bit, cruise. My arm is genuinely long enough. This like works for me. Wonder if I could actually pedal this thing like this. It's like a low rider. Let's give this a try again. Oh yeah, there we go. The handling is a little bit wonky riding like this. Let's see if I can pop back up there now. There we go. Look at the trike. Nice. Dude, this dog is living the life. Yeah, dude, the more I'm riding this bike, I'm realizing it is actually a kind of more harsh ride than a bike that does have front suspension, or even a bike that has just 4-inch wide fat tires that you can run at a bit lower PSI to get a little bit of squish out of them. Oh man, got some maniacs in head-on traffic. And just rolling up here in the neighborhood, an hour and pretty much 40 minutes ride time, 18 miles, average speed 11 miles per hour. Batteries, it is running on 2 batteries. At rest is showing about 49.2 volts. 49 volts is probably, you know, just over half, right around probably 55-60% charge on the dual batteries after 18 miles of throttle only. Basically, I really didn't pedal this bike much today. I was just kind of, you know, motorcycling it. So, you know, throw a little extra weight on there and that'll reduce your range a bit further. So final thoughts on this bike. It does ride a little bit hard with no suspension, but it's cool that it has a pretty heavy capacity rear rack and the dual battery option. If you do want to buy the bike, click the link below the video in the description box. Buy through that link and it would help support my reviews. However, if this is not the kind of bike you're looking for, or you're looking for a different cargo style e-bike, watch this video next. I'll catch you over there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.